He humiliated her for being a cleaner. Years later, he was amazed to see who she became. Hello everyone, and welcome to the Storyist. Today, I will tell you a story about a rich old man who humiliated a woman for being a cleaner. Years later, he was amazed to see who she became. Watch the video until the end to find out what happened and why the man was so surprised. Our story today takes place in the hills of Hollywood at the house of a very rich man. Although he lived in Hollywood and most of his neighbors were fancy movie stars, this man didn't work in the movie business. He made his living in real estate. His parents owned much of the valuable land in Hollywood, so this man was born into wealth. When his parents died, he inherited all the land and all the money, too. The man really liked his life. He barely had to work and spent most of his time hosting fancy parties at his huge house. Sometimes he would go to events around town, but he loved to party in his own house, surrounded by movie stars. It made him feel powerful and important, and the parties were always a lot of fun. But they also created huge messes in his fancy house, so the man decided to hire someone to help him clean. He contacted a cleaning agency, and they promised to send their best cleaner to work for him. He was surprised at who showed up, though. When the doorbell rang, the man went and opened his huge double front door to see a small young woman with a basket of cleaning supplies. He frowned. "No offense, young lady, but this is a big house. Are you sure you'll be up to the task of keeping it clean? It's a lot of work." The young woman flashed a smile. "Yes, sir," she said. "Don't let my age fool you. I'm a very hard worker. I put 100% into everything I do. I promise you'll be satisfied with the house. And I can come and clean every weekend if you like." The man's frown softened somewhat. She seemed professional at least. "All right," he said. "Let's see how today goes, and then I'll decide if I'm hiring you full-time or not. You can leave your things there in the parlor, and I'd suggest you get started right away." The young woman flashed that winning smile again, put her things down in the parlor, and got to work. The man wasn't kidding. The house was massive, and it took almost the entire day for her to go through and clean it all. There were so many surfaces to dust and floors to vacuum, and then there were all the mirrors and windows that needed wiping. But she worked hard and didn't stop until the whole place was spotless. The man was suitably impressed and ended up hiring the young woman to come back once a week and clean. Things continued like this for several months. The man would throw his parties, and the young woman would come and clean up after him. She always did a great job, and the man would even tell his friends about how he had the best cleaning lady in all of Hollywood. But even so, he never really talked to her or tried to ask her about her life. After all, he thought to himself, she's just the cleaning lady. The fact that she was a hard worker and always behaved in a professional manner didn't really seem to mean anything to the man. Deep inside, he thought he was better than her because he was rich and had famous friends. He didn't see any reason at all to take any interest in this person's life. So he kept ignoring her, and she kept on cleaning his house every weekend. One day, while she was there cleaning, a book fell out of her bag in the parlor. The man noticed and walked over to pick it up. Curious, he looked at the title. He expected to see a silly romance novel or something like that. But he was surprised to discover that the book was about political theory. What was a cleaning lady doing with a book like that? So when the young woman had finished cleaning and went to go gather her things to leave, the man asked her about it. "What are you doing with a book about political theory?" he asked condescendingly. "Oh," the young woman replied, "that's one of my school books. I'm in college studying politics. I clean houses on the weekends to pay for my classes, but I want to run for office one day. I have a lot of ideas about how I can make this city better for everyone living in it." The man couldn't believe his ears. "You," he said, "run for office? I guess you think you can clean up the city." "Ridiculous. You're just a cleaning lady. You should stick to what you're good at." Then he started to laugh out loud. Now, it was the young woman's turn to be stunned by what she was hearing. She couldn't believe how mean the man was being to her. Even though she was so upset that she wanted to cry, she remained silent, forced a smile, gathered her things, and left without a word. The next weekend, the cleaning service sent a different person to clean the man's house. The young woman never came back. Several years went by, and nothing really changed the man's life. He kept on having parties with his other rich friends and kept on being mean to the cleaners. One weekend, the man was invited to go to a party in the city to celebrate the election of a new mayor. The man didn't really pay attention to politics, but his friends assured him it would be a great party, so he went anyway. What happened there would be a big surprise. All throughout the evening, everyone at the party was abuzz about the new mayor. They were all talking about how this person was new to politics, but had won the people of the city over with their great ideas and winning smile. The man was intrigued and couldn't wait to meet the new mayor. They hadn't made an appearance yet, but they were due on stage any minute to give a speech. When the mayor finally appeared, the man couldn't believe his eyes. He recognized that winning smile. He had seen it every weekend at his house. It was the young woman who used to clean his house. Her speech was all about working hard and never giving up, no matter what circumstances you start out with. By the end of it, everyone was standing and cheering. The man was blown away. He had really misjudged the young woman just because she was a cleaner. He should have known that as hard as she worked to clean the house, she would also work that hard at her studies. And now, here she was, the new mayor. He had no doubt that she would work hard at this too. It's easy to judge a person when we see them based on how they look or what they do for a living. But you never know what kind of potential can be living inside of someone. We are all capable of great things if we work hard and don't give up. So don't judge someone based on where they are now, because you never know what they will become. If you like this story, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. And make sure you turn on the notification bell. We'll see you in the next story.